And I want to welcome everybody to our Empowerment Sunday. Remember that every fourth Sunday of every month here, instead of the regular Bible study, Sunday school, we do our Empowerment Sunday, where we talk about, discuss topics to help us live a healthy and wholesome life. Today, we're going to talk about sleep quality and health. How does sleep, quality of your sleep, how does it affect your health? And I know we're going to learn a lot today. And I hope we're excited to learn more about sleep. A lot of us take sleep for granted. And I have my two panel here with me. These are our resources, our physicians here in the house. And on my right, we have Dr. Tolu Oyebade. She's a psychiatrist with 5 years of experience and currently works with Middle Tennessee Mental Health Institute here in Tennessee. And on my left is Dr. Bolanle Ogunde. She's a preventive and occupational medicine physician with more than 6 years of experience. Currently works with Meharry Medical College here in Tennessee. And I am the moderator. I am Dr. Victoria Okafor. I work with St. Thomas Rutherford Hospital in Murfreesboro, and I have more than 15 years of experience in this as a internal medicine physician. So we're going to start by posing. Oh, thank you. We're going to start by posing questions, and towards the end, we're going to give opportunity for people to ask questions. Be free to ask questions. It's about your health. God has given us one body, and we got to be careful with this body. If we ruin it, that's what it is. You don't get a replacement, but we thank God He's merciful. So, starting with Dr. Oyebade, we're going to define sleep. So, what is sleep? Just that we understand what it is.
So sleep is a kind of funny, like, how do you really define sleep? Sleep is where your body goes into a state of unconsciousness, and it goes through stages where it gives your body rest, so that, kind of like a computer, you can update yourself, right? So all the activities you did for the day, your mind and your body goes through internal processes where it needs to go over the things of the day, and it helps with memory. It helps with metabolic processes and digestion, and then it's also where you dream. So that's a simplified version of sleep.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so just to let's look at another perspective. Dr. Gunde, can you help us? What do you understand? How do you explain sleep to us?
Yes, like Dr. Tolu rightly said, it's a very kind of complex physiological process that kind of in which your body go into this state of rest, temporary rest. And it usually lasts for a period of time. Of course, when we say sleep, nobody sleeps forever. And of course, you expect your body goes through different things as you're sleeping. The body is rested, but not just that, because in the past, the assumption is that when we are sleeping, everything goes shuts down. That's not true. It's not just resting. There's restoration that takes place while you're resting. You're conserving energy, and it's also helping to like replenish what you lost during the day. So sleep is not just a passive thing; it's an active process.
Thank you very much. So we need good sleep so that our body can rest and restore and recharge. So interestingly, we have 4 stages of sleep. 4 stages of sleep. What does that mean? Um, Dr. Gunde, can you help us? 4 stages of sleep and their relevance.
Okay, yes, like Dr. Kafa said, there are 4 stages of sleep that we go through, that our body go through at night. We have the non-rapid eye movement and the rapid eye movement. So with the non-eye rapid eye movement, we have stage 1 to 3. The REM, which is the rapid, is the fourth stage. So the first stage is when you transition from awakeness to sleeping. So it's usually a light process. You can be easily aroused when you're like, okay, initially when you fall asleep, somebody taps you, you can easily arouse. And it's like your body is gradually trying to shut down. So your body temperature start going down slowly, your heart rate, your blood pressure, things start going to prepare your body for the sleep. Then the second stage is a little bit more than the first stage. Now you are in a stage of light sleep. So you're sleeping a little bit more, but you can still easily be aroused. The third stage, which is very crucial, is a deep sleep stage, which you cannot afford to miss that, because that is when your body goes through all these metabolic changes, hormonal changes. That's when your immunity gets built up. That is where like so many growth takes place, because your body has this deep state of rest uninterrupted. So you have all these hormonal changes, you have all these good things happening. And in this stage of deep sleep, you cannot be easily aroused. You are deeply asleep, your high movements, your muscles, they are all kind of in a state of paralyzed state to get a refreshing sleep. The last stage, which is the REM, the rapid eye movement, this is where the activity takes place, because your eyes is actually moving behind the eyelid. And this is what helps you with your mood. It helps to your memory. So that's where you get your learning, your concentration during the day. That is where everything is like the librarian of the body. So it helps to sort out things: your long-term memory, short-term memory, your concentration, your mood, your learning. This is like an act. It's like a state of awakeness, but you are sleeping. So it actually helps you to process things. So when people find out that, oh, during the day they can't concentrate, they can't focus, you need to check your REM. Maybe you are actually not getting enough. And mood also, your concentration. This is where all these things get processed during the night to prepare you for the next day. So it is good to go through all this, because it can affect your quality of sleep if you don't go through all these 4 stages.
Thank you very much. That's quite extensive. So, in other words, it's a cycle. We go through these 4 stages, and the last stage, as she said, we call it REM, rapid eye movement. You're sleeping. Through the earlier stages, things are kind of calming down. Your heart rate is calming down. Things are calming down. In the last stage, your brain activity speeds up. Repairing, fixing. Your memory is being fixed. You know, those of us that can't remember things, sleep could do a lot of things to help us better remember. That's when your memory is fixing things. The brain waves are very, very active. So you're sleeping, but the body is doing a lot of things. God is amazing. And so we'll go to Dr. Oyebade to define what quality sleep is. Because we all sleep. What is quality sleep?
So quality sleep is really getting to those last 2 stages of sleep, your stage 3 and REM sleep. Because like she said earlier, that's where we kind of reboot from the day. That's where all the metabolic processes are going down. That's where our memory, short-term memory becomes long-term memory. We fix our concentration. So if we're getting, we cycle through more stages of stage 3 and REM sleep, that's real quality sleep. Also, as an adult, from the age of 25 to 50, you're supposed to be getting about 8 hours of sleep. So you can cycle through as many times as possible. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Right. So babies, they need more sleep, but they're cycling through sleep faster. And as you get older, you need less sleep, but you're getting less REM sleep sometimes. But you generally need about 8 hours of sleep in terms of time, but then also how many times you get through the last 2 stages of sleep are the most important to quality sleep.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Dr. Gunde, do you have anything to add to that?
So with sleep quality is actually self-dependent. You can actually ask yourself about sleep quality. It's how well you sleep. We can all say, oh yes, I slept well. But do you really sleep well? That's another question. Because there are ways you can assess it. If I ask you, oh yes, I have a good sleep, I have a bad sleep, I have in-between sleep. but there are ways to actually assess your quality of sleep. Yes, there are like 4 factors that can go into how effective or how well you sleep. We can ask you, yes, I slept well. Oh, there's something called sleep latency. How how often, as in how soon after you go to bed do you fall asleep? You need to answer that question. Awakening, how many hours or how long do you wake up at night when you're sleeping? There's another one called wake after sleep onset. How many times, the amount of time you wake up after first falling asleep. And the last one is what we call sleep efficiency. What's the time, as in the time you are asleep, what's the ratio between the time you are asleep and the time you spend lying in bed? What's the ratio? If your answer to most of these questions, of course, there are parameters that I can give you that you want me to tell them that you can? Yeah. So with the sleep latency, if you sleep within like 30 minutes or less, if you answer yes to when you go to bed within 30 sleep, if you fall asleep, if your answer is yes, that is good. That means you have this uninterrupted sleep. So awakeness, how many times do you sleep at night? If you wake up like 1 or less, if you answer yes to that, that is good. That means you are uninterrupted. Now you are waking up multiple times because you have to go to the bathroom. Your body may not be able to go through all these circles that we explained. And awake after first falling asleep. If you wake up longer than 30 minutes through the course of the night, it's going to interrupt your sleep. You may not get the benefits. And of course, so when we say, because some people lie in bed, they are not really sleeping. Sleep efficiency. So what is the ratio between the time you are asleep? Like she said, for an adult, we have that range between 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So are you lying down for like 4 hours out of that and you're not really sleeping? So if you have like 7 hours of sleep versus like maybe 30 minutes of staying awake, if you answer yes to that, that's also good. So out of these, if you answer like maybe 3 yes, that's good sleep, that's quality sleep. But if your response is like no, that's not quality sleep.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope we're learning something today, right? So moving forward, now that we know that quality sleep is highly important because it helps us function, memories, even growth. This is when the body apportions, this is time for growth, this is what, it helps a lot. So basically, I would say it affects our physical health as well as mental health. So I'm going to ask Dr. Yebade, how does poor quality sleep affect mental health?
We brought this up before. It can affect your mood, it can affect your concentration, it can affect the way you interact with other people. So if you don't get enough sleep, you notice that you're irritable, right? Everybody can say that. If you don't get enough good sleep, your concentration is poor. Tasks that you were able to do regularly, efficiently, you're not able to do it. You're kind of scatterbrained like a kid or something. So sleep, and then also it helps with memory. So the things that we learned the day before, we're having to relearn them because we're not getting good sleep. It's not going from short term to long term to a habit, to something that we can do without thinking. And insomnia, which is poor sleep, in all the qualities that she brought up before, is a symptom of depression and anxiety. So if you're having insomnia, you're going to start having long-term insomnia. You're going to start having depressive symptoms, anxiety symptoms, because all these processes that you're supposed to be getting or going over in your deep sleep and REM sleep, you're not getting them. So it will have a long-term mental health effect.
Thank you very much. So they feed off of each other, just as Dr. Yebade has said. Lack of sleep will get somebody in trouble, and a lot of psychiatric illnesses, depression, name it, is associated with not being able to sleep. People that have schizophrenia, they cannot sleep. So sometimes it starts from not sleeping into mental issues and back to worsening it. So it's a vicious cycle.
Not to say that if you don't sleep, you have schizophrenia or bipolar disorder.
No, that's not they kind of feed off of each other.
Yeah, they feed off of each other. So it's just, if you're not getting good sleep, it could lead to poor mental health and they are attached to other things. So just be very mindful and careful about that and look into the reasons why.
All right. Thank you. We have a psychiatrist here. Okay. Um, uh, so the next question is, how does poor sleep quality affect physical health? You talked about mental health. What about physical health, like diabetes, blood pressure, and stuff? Dr. Ogunde, can you help us out, please?
Okay, just like you said, of course, most of us are very familiar with, oh yeah, eat healthy, exercise, and all of that. But there's more to that when it comes to physical health. Your sleep is like the third thing that you need to pay attention to when it comes to physical health. So what even brought about this sleeping anyway? So the body, there's this system called circadian rhythm. So it's a 24 hours internal clock that tells your body when to sleep, when to wake up. But if you are not having quality sleep, some of the things that happen during this 24-hour cycle get disrupted. So like physical health, yeah, when it's getting towards the evening time, this circadian rhythm senses that, okay, there's darkness. Your eye senses that there's darkness outside. It sends a signal to your brain. That will start releasing melatonin. Melatonin will tell your body, okay, it's time to rest. It's time to sleep. So you start like winding down, then you start sleeping. And when it's morning time, this melatonin level goes down. Another hormone kicks up, the cortisol. It kicks up that, okay, it's time to wake up and all of that. But if you are not getting quality sleep, this cycle gets disrupted and there's hormonal imbalance. When there's this hormonal imbalance, things go haywire. So the cortisol, we know is good for, it's like the steroid of your body, natural steroid. So when this thing is not produced when it's supposed to, or it stays longer than usual, it can affect your blood pressure. Your blood pressure can go up. When this also affects your blood sugar. So if it's disrupted, you are awake when you're supposed to be sleeping. The body will